Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Fast Frame. When it comes to your sports memorabilia, guys, no one can match the quality work done by Fast Frame. From jerseys to framing and protecting old newspapers, magazines, baseball cards, whatever you've got, Fast Frame, that's who I trust, and they've basically decorated my house. I look like I live in a sports bar. They have done work for just about everybody here on, well, I think everybody here on the set has gone to Fast Frame at one time or another.
Yep.
They are spectacular. I can't say enough good things. Whatever you've got, they can help you preserve it and show it off. Fast Frame. All right. Counting down the biggest heroes and villains of the Sports Source era, 2003 to now. Everyone voted. Bob Hodge had a vote as well. We're getting up there. These four person, places, and things were villains that at least two of us, had on the list. So let's go and check it out. Florida. Ooh. We didn't go with a coach here. We went with the school. I guess that's reflective of the fact that Tennessee, since 2003, 3-11 against the Gators. You finally got off the schneid last year, but you lost 11 straight to them. And they also won 2 national championships in that run. So they have been a thorn in everyone's side, but especially yours. The Georgia Dome, and this doesn't even count the 0-1 nightmare. But since 2003, Tennessee is 1-4 in the Georgia Dome. They lost 2 bowl games and lost 2 SEC title games to Auburn and LSU. Then you got Mike Hamilton. You can debate the firing of Philip Fulmer. Some would put him on that. The hiring of Lane Kiffin certainly gets him on that. Somebody mentioned he tied UT up with a lot of buyouts. His contract writing wasn't the best, so Mike Hamilton's on the list. And then everybody's favorite defensive coordinator, Sal Sunseri, which, think about it, a defense worse than last year's.
Then that's saying something.
That is saying something. So, gentlemen, and he didn't have the injury bug to use as a buffer either. He didn't have any defense. No pun intended. Florida, Georgia Dome, Mike Hamilton, Sal Sunseri. Your thoughts on this list of villains?
I went with Florida because a lot of different coaches were beating Tennessee during that time. And it wasn't Spurrier, because this time frame doesn't count that. It counts Urban Meyer. It counts Will Muschamp, who wasn't beating too many other people other than Tennessee. And then Jim McElwain. So when you had 3 different ones, I just put Florida in the Florida winning streak that encompassed most of the 15 years we're talking about, the 11 years in a row. So I went with the Gators, the team that you typically need to beat to try to win the East.
Georgia Dome, I know we're talking football, but I give them bonus villain points for basketball. Just think how many SEC tournaments Tennessee has not played well, when they were had a good seeding.
It continues to be a house of horrors down there. It's we'll see if it's Atlanta or the Dome when Tennessee opens up in the new stadium down there against Georgia Tech.
And in that Georgia Dome, the loss to Auburn, isn't that really the only one that you look at and say you lost, the other team beat you that's better?
Yeah, probably.
The other times you're thinking you're either favored or you should win this game.
Well, LSU wound up winning the national title.
Yeah.
But you had them
You had a
beat.
better team.
Had them beat.
You had them.
Thought you had them
second,
beat.
I mean, that's the way I look at that. And you already had plans made for the Rose Bowl, didn't you? I mean,
Yep.
or
Hotel
other things.
reservations.
That was in 2001.
2001, yeah. But it's Georgia Dome is just hard to explain because you've got the fan support
And just
there.
think of those 3 horrible bowl games.
And
Maryland and
the Clemson
Clemson.
Maryland things.
gosh.
Virginia Tech.
Cell phones in the locker room.
Well, Clemson, you whined all week that you should have been in a better bowl, and then you go lose. That was the Clemson game, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maryland,
Yeah.
you just go and get
No
smoked,
show.
like
No
30-3 or something. No showed. Mike Hamilton, villain, or does he represent a greater villainy of basically anybody in the administration? Because I think if you gave the fans a vote, a lot of them would say, you got president, you got AD, you got this, you got that. Hamilton belong here on his own, or is he representing the administration in general?
I think he did enough to be there on his own. I mean, I really do. I mean, especially some of those contracts that put Tennessee in such a hole financially. And the Derek Dooley, not just the hire, which is baffling, but the buyout.
Although he wasn't the only man on that
I
hire.
understand that. But
There were a lot of people making that decision.
To be given somebody, wasn't it $5 million to fail? Came here with that's one of the most ridiculous things in the history of Tennessee athletics.
And he was making $450,000 at Louisiana Tech as a head coach and athletic director.
And Philip Fulmer got the golden parachute kind of a contract right before his last season.
Didn't Mike
got $6
Hamilton
million.
get a pretty good golden parachute himself?
He got around 1.3 or 1.4.
Oh, in basketball, he gave $1 million to Bruce Pearl for firing him with cause.
So
I've
yeah,
never-
I think he's
He
on
earned
there.
it. He earned it.
He
All right.
earned it.
And I don't think we need to say anything about Sal.
So it's kind of like an
do we? I mean,
Indian name that shall never be spoken again in our midst.
Sal Sinceri will never be mentioned again. Okay,
Honest.
very good. When we come back, the top 2 heroes on our list. Okay, top 2 heroes, and then 2 more villains. We got more villains than heroes. No kidding. The last 14 years, there have been more villains than heroes. But we'll show you the top 2 heroes next.